Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move today. I'm Paul Sweeney alongside Scarlett Fu. We're joined by Bloomberg's Nora Melinda. Nora, what are you looking at?
Well, let's take a look at some of the tech stocks. I mean, of course, we know information technology is the worst performing sector in the S&P 500. We're really seeing a broad-based sell-off in that space particularly. But I'm looking at shares of Microsoft, that's MSFT, and Amazon, AMZN, both underperforming the Mag 7 group. And this is after Rothschild & Co., an analyst over there, downgraded both of these names for the first time since initiating coverage back in June of 2022. They're essentially talking about the fact that the industry's like, trust us, Gen AI is just like early cloud 1.0. But it seems that this is just really echoing those sentiments about a potential AI bubble and whether or not a lot of these companies are overstating what expectations should be versus what they will actually be able to deliver. So you are seeing some pressure on those two stocks, in particular shares of Microsoft earlier hitting their lowest level since July.
And of course, retail earnings are now front and center, and you're looking at Home Depot.
Also looking at Home Depot, we do see shares of Home Depot lower, down by about 3.6%. That's ticker HD, but it was earlier down as much as 5%. That's the most and the lowest level since April here. This is after the company cut its full year earnings guidance. We really are seeing, of course, some data that does support the fact that the labor market is doing okay, but it does seem as though in this particular space, when we think about home improvement, the consumer is pressured here. We're not seeing as many people buying those big ticket items that they were before at Home Depot. Tariff concerns still, of course, in focus. And just generally, we're seeing a housing market that still remains frozen. So you are seeing all these things and more weighing on results out of Home Depot.
Cloudfare.
Yes, Cloudflare. This is ticker NET. We're seeing shares lower by about 2.9%, earlier dropping for their biggest drop since July. And of course, we know that this global outage that we did see on the network is now resolving. That's according to reports here. But this was, of course, weighing on shares of Cloudflare. Of course, we did see this affecting sites like ChatGPT, X. I mean, I was on Twitter. It wasn't loading anything. So it seems as though we were seeing some weakness in the stock based off of the fact that there was some unclarity as to what this actually was due from.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.